Welcome to UFO Buster Radio, episode number 238. This is Manny Moonraker, your hostess with the mostest. You know, I sat around today and I came to one fascinating revelation, and that is that this is actually 238th episode of just UFO news. Like, I literally have almost close to 400 episodes on here. It is the weirdest thing. I never would have thought 3 years ago that I'd have so many episodes, but there you go. Shit happens, and you guys are stuck with me for the moment at least. I mean, I could always kick the bucket, and then, fuck, you're free. You're totally free. You won't even have to listen to me anymore. But Frank would be upset because he wouldn't hear my jokes about the whole Brooklyn thing, you know, because Manny Moonraker was born and raised in New York, and sometimes a little accent comes in, like when I say things like coffee. I can't help it. I say coffee. I don't say coffee. I say coffee. Because that's what the fuck it is. If you don't like it, too fucking bad. Hey, cup yours. Anyway, thank you for joining today. This is episode 238, like I said, and we have two articles to discuss today. In the meantime, and I'll wait to the end to really talk about this, but I've been thinking about how am I going to award one of you guys a $10 million policy against getting probed in the anus. And let me tell you, it took a lot of thinking. Well, not too much, just a little bit. Like I just thought about it right before I got on here. I'll be honest with you. But the truth is, you need that kind of protection. Like if you're someone who is always posting on Facebook, on Facebook, see, it's only Wednesday. If you're someone that's always on Facebook posting about it, you get taken away, you set up cameras and shit gets distorted, and then your butt hurts at the end of the night. It might not be your significant other. It might be ET. So why not have a $10 million policy to help you out? Now, here's a disclaimer. This isn't the real policy. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not a real policy. It really is something that you do for fun. But for Pete's sake, who else? Does your grandpa have one of these? No. Does your auntie? No. As a matter of fact, if either one of them got probed, they're screwed. There's not even a chance that they will get any money for it. But I'm willing to cover one of your buttholes in case you get abducted. That's what I'm going to do. But we'll get into the specifics of that in a moment. But we have two news articles to talk about. The first one, we're just going to talk about it. We're just going to throw that shit out there. Because it has to do with, the fact that Area 51 is a thing now. Yeah, not a thing like you guys think about it. Not a thing where they have secret, Air Force aircrafts that they're testing all the time. Not someplace where it is alleged to be a UFO sighting, and not alleged place where they're hiding artifacts from Roswell, or that they have alien bodies, or maybe one that's alive that likes to travel to and fro. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that commercial enterprise is in on this. That's right. Again, companies are cashing in on ufology. Now, it's bad enough that we got Deuce Bigelow, the space gigolo, taking his company. Listen, dude, you've got contracts with NASA for these little inflatable space hotels. But that's not enough for you. You want to take ufology away from the common folk. You want to take all the data for yourself just to figure out what the fuck you saw when you were hanging out with your grandparents when you were a kid. Money talks, I get it. Bullshit walks. So he's got the money. He's getting all the data. But now, food chains are getting into it. Food chains. If you decide to take your $10 million abduction policy and run to Nevada on September 20th, please take your policy, fold it up real nice, put it in your back pocket. And I say this because you want to make sure that ET knows what he's getting into. Literally. Put it somewhere where he can just pull it out your pocket and say, oh, this guy's protected. Let him think twice about it. That's just, think about it as a public service announcement from UFO Buster Radio. If you win this policy, make sure that the perp knows where your policy is located. Anyway, let's get back to the story here. So basically what's happening is that commercial enterprises, again, are getting into ufology, and they are pretty much into the Area 51 raid by this guy on Facebook. And a lot of people are telling me, hey, did you interview that guy? Not really. Are you interested in interviewing him? No, I'm not. I'm going to be honest. Let's be honest. When I saw that interview that he did, I think it was a Fox News outlet, and when he grabbed his cape and did that Notaru run or whatever the fuck it is, that was it for me. I can't have someone like that on a podcast. I can't do it because they're not true to the topic. He's basically telling us that he takes his best form of weed, he puts on a cape, and he runs around that way. And one day he smashed into a wall, and he said, let's raid Area 51. That's all he said. That's the only reason why this is popular. The only reason why there's over 2 million people saying they're going to go there. And we'll be lucky if 1% shows up. But let's not fuck around, because apparently Jim Taylor, the chief marketing officer of Arby's, says Arby's is going to be there. And I mentioned this last week that there's a picture of a big, humongous meat truck. I think they call it the meat house or something like that. This meat smokehouse or something like that. It's going to be out there waiting for you, the potential attendee at Area 51, Nevada. Or the ET that comes out and decides he's hungry, he's tired of the mush that they feed him, and he wants to try some Arby's. So this is a quote from Jim Taylor, and it says, we can't confirm if there are aliens at Area 51, but if they do show up, they deserve the best meats on earth. If not Arby's, we'll it's funny. Listen, Chief Marketing Officer, don't ever say Arby's does not have the best meats. This is jacked up. Would you just fire this guy? If not Arby's, we'll still be serving the planet's best meats to everyone else attending this historic event. Jim Taylor, I hope you're going to be there, because people are going to want to see you in your Naturu cape, running around selling meat to the local constituents in Nevada who are there to see Area 51, smoke some weed, get drunk, and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, if you want to get drunk, Budweiser is also going to be there. They have a special can with an ET. It's a black can with green writing on it, and it has an alien head. And they will also be there celebrating the fact that 2 million people want to put their lives on the line to go to Area 51 and possibly get probed, shot, dead on the scene, whatever it is, because they're going up against the United States Air Force, the U.S. government, and basically threats from local law enforcement that you better not show up. So more power to you. Might as well get drunk and have a full belly before the shit goes down. And that's the pre-news. That's what I was going to share with you. But let's get to the real news right now. Now we're getting ready to get to the real news right now. And this is the headline. Alien eyewitness, UFO abductee warns why we should never contact evil extraterrestrials. You know, this is a point of conversation for me. This is my argument. A lot of times when I hear people say that ET sees that we're into nuclear technology, ET sees that we're going to blow up the world, we're polluting the oceans, we're killing off nature. This is my argument. My argument is that there is no fucking way that in this entire universe, all the ETs are walking around like shooting Skittles at everyone, walking around in rainbows, and they have like angel wings. That makes no sense to me. And, you know, every time I hear that, it just makes me cringe. And by the way, the person that is the subject of this particular news article that's brought to you by the Express UK is no one other than Derrel Sims. That's right, Derrel Sims, private investigator and former CIA operative who was... Let me just pause for a second, because I know you guys are... You just said it before I did. Who was on the podcast a few weeks ago, Derrel Sims. He was on here. And Derrel Sims, if you listened to that episode, and if you didn't, guess what? You're lucky. Today you're lucky. If you go into the description, that episode link is there in the description. You can listen to Derrel himself, because he repeats a lot of things that the Express UK is saying. He say, don't be a rubber dicker. Don't be so naive to think that aliens from 4.2 far are going to be happy to come down here and save us from ourselves. Because it just doesn't work. Here's a quote by Derrel Sims, and I'll be honest, he actually said this on a podcast. When people have a positive contact experience, the gumdrops, the jelly beans, the pigtails, that means you have accepted the program. People have died as a result of attempting alien contact while others have been injured. You will experience a feeling of awe and that aliens are here to help the planet and all these wonderful things, none of which they have ever done. Think about that. What have they done? What do you know that aliens have done? If you are a firm believer, number one, we're not alone in the universe. Number two, that E.T. likes to show up once in a while and mutilate cattle. What would make you think that number three, they love you? That they're here to protect you? That they're here to stop nuclear weapons? What if they're protecting themselves? What if every time that we shoot off a nuclear bomb, that these radio waves go off and it's like an alarm for them? It's like a freaking Amber Alert in the United States. It's like, oh shit, they fucked up again. Let's go down there and see what the fuck they're doing. Because they're going to screw up how we travel in space, because they're shooting off radioactive material, and it's a problem for us because they're fucking up our universal highways, our universal community by what they're doing. No, honestly, I believe entirely in what Derrel Sims is saying. You cannot sit there, basically sucking your thumb in your little baby outfit thinking that someone's going to come and save you. They don't think that they're all here to save us. I continue. He also says, on the other hand, there is another group called alien abductees who feel they have been kidnapped or taken without their will. These people often remember parts of the event, sometimes all of it, and they don't like what happens. He says that he also feels it is only uniformed people who attempt to contact aliens. We've seen this before in history. What makes you think that an entire civilization of people, alien beings, sentient beings, are all good? Look at our own planet. Look at the freaking soil that you stand on right now. There are factions in your own culture. There are factions in your own country. There are factions in your own world who would see harm to you and could care less as long as their agenda was taken care of. What makes you think that in another part of the universe, there is an entire planet of people who love you? If they loved you so much, as Derrel Sims is saying, why the fuck aren't they here helping you? Why would you be thinking that the government, the U.S. government, Australian government, the UK government, is so fucking powerful that they would stop an entire alien civilization that's here to help you from helping you? Doesn't that make sense to you? Doesn't that kind of ring true? Are we really? Is the U.S. government so damn powerful to stop an entire civilization from helping you? From keeping the waters clean? From stopping nuclear annihilation? Come on, really? Come on. You guys got to know this. It's very elementary. If they were really out to save you from yourself or from your fellow man wouldn't be able to stop them from doing that. And that is entirely the truth of what Derrel Sims is saying. And I've said this all the time. I really don't like hearing stories about, they're here to save us. They see that we're polluting our waters, that we're hurting our people, we're hurting the planet, we're going to lose the planet. No, really. An entire civilization would have no problem, especially one that's advanced, coming in and telling our governments, stop the shit. We're taking over. You're ruining a jewel in the universe. You're ruining a planet that's filled with water, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, the building blocks of life. And you're ruining it. You're destroying it. We're going to put a stop to that. I'm sorry, but maybe Derrel Sims is right. Maybe what you're seeing is a programming to make you feel like it's all going to be okay when there really is a sinister plan at hand. Anything's possible, folks, but you really should take that into consideration. Thank you, Derrel Sims, for sharing that. And again, if you want to listen to Derrel Sims live on UFO Buster Radio, check out the link in the description. And if you want to look at these articles, and you feel like in September you want to get some of the meats, get a little drunk of some bud, wiser, some people will have the other bud. Check out the link too. You can find out where they're going to be, what they're taking, what's going to be there. And apparently they're going to have a special menu for the September 20th situation. Special meats. Yeah. I don't know if I really want to know what kind of meat they have. But check out what we have. Look at the articles. Read them. Talk about it. Share the podcast. Like it. Subscribe. And let your people know that there's someone out there that has a different way of looking at things. And that's Manny Moonraker. And I appreciate you for listening. But right now, I think it's the end of the world because this shit is just crazy. I bid you adieu. Until next time, ciao.
The satellites explode.